What do Kyle Rittenhouse and Darren Brooks have in common? Well, friends, they both are hard in the paint, red-pilling Americans, but for different reasons. One, because he's not a white supreme pizza, and the other one is, in fact, a black supremacist criminal. Let's go down that rabbit hole. Welcome to the Relevant Elevant channel, where we discuss relevant issues. A few days ago, Kyle Rittenhouse, a young man from Kenosha, Wisconsin, got acquitted of all charges against him by a jury of his peers, after he shot some people that literally tried to kill him. In case you didn't know, he was helping his community by protecting a car business during some fiery and not at all peaceful riots.
So people are getting injured, and our job is to protect this business, and part of my job is to also help people. If there's somebody hurt, I'm running into harm's way. Does anybody need medical?
He was legally armed, and unfortunately, he got attacked by extremists who threatened to kill him repeatedly. Therefore, he did what he had to do and shot their ass. One of the attackers he shot was a convicted child molester, and another a wife beater. One of them was also a patient in a mental institution who had been released just hours before the riot started. Kyle was acquitted of all of charges, so why are there any issues? Why is mainstream media still demonizing him? And then, well, just about the day after Kyle's acquittal, a black male named Darren Brooks, who had a previous large criminal record which included human trafficking of minors for the purpose of sexual exploitation.
Hey, shout out to my shooting team, they gon' handle teams for the revenue. Hey, shout out to my shooting team, they gon' handle teams for the revenue.
And vehicular assault against the mother of his child. No, I won't say baby mama, that's not proper English.
We have breaking news from Waukesha, Wisconsin, where an SUV plowed into a crowd of people taking part in a Christmas parade.
This guy, Darren Brooks, drove his vehicle through a mostly white crowd of people attending a Christmas parade in a town very close to Kenosha, Wisconsin. This perpetrator left at least 6 dead and 40 more injured during his attack, including one young child who died a few days after the incident after fighting for his life. The media is calling this a car accident. So what do these two events have in common? It's besides the fact that they happen very close in time, it's the way the media is presenting them. It is helping normal people to take massive doses of the red pill. Because the media is being extremely ridiculous. They keep hating on Kyle while completely ignoring the brutality of what Darren Brooks did. Yes, they acknowledge it was a tragedy, but they're not focusing on Darren at all as a perpetrator.
Today, our community faced horror and tragedy in what should have been a community celebration. I'm deeply saddened to know that so many in our community went to a parade but ended up dealing with injury and heartache.
Now, again, investigators are questioning a person of interest we believe is the driver of this SUV, but they would not say at this time if they believe this was an act of terrorism.
They're focusing on the reality of how many people died and the grief that comes with that, but they chose to ignore not only saying the name of, but also denouncing the character of the actual perpetrator, Darren Brooks. I'll say his fucking name, Darren Brooks. He killed 6 people. One of them was a 6-year-old child. Let that sink in. Take all the time you need.
The Waukesha Christmas parade was taking place when a red SUV drove through the barricades, westbound, heading down Main Street. The vehicle struck more than 20 individuals. Some of the individuals were children, and there were some fatalities as a result of this incident. But this is still a very fluid investigation.
But why would the media do these things you speak of, you ask me? Well, I'm glad you asked. Because it does not fit their commie, woke-ass lefty narrative. But they're getting so carried away with it that even the normies, the people that don't get into politics, are like, wait, what is happening here? Kenosha Kids trial was televised, yes, poor young fellow, had to defend himself, felt real bad, he had to kill some people. But this other fellow over here, wait, he pimped children.
Hey, shout out to my shooter team, they gon' handle teams for the revenue.
And said on social media he wanted to knock out all white people. Why are they saying the red car did it?
We have breaking news from Waukesha, Wisconsin, where an SUV plowed into a crowd of people taking part in a Christmas parade.
Wait a minute. Hey, that chubby fellow Alex Jones, he said some things. I think he might be right. This does not make any sense. I'm gonna go check out that fellow's InfoWars site just in case, you know? And boom! In goes the red pill. Then the black pill, then hopefully the clown pill, until we get ourselves a normie that is actually awake and can think for themselves. But let's break this down a little bit. The Kool-Aid some people drink is so strong that just a few days ago, some students at the university Kyle attends signed a petition to get him kicked out. Why? Because they just don't like him. But they failed. But now, instead of studying nursing, Kyle is going to study law because, well, he'll tell you.
And I believe there needs to be change. I believe there's a lot of prosecutorial misconduct, not just in my case, but in other cases. And it's just amazing to see how much a prosecutor can take advantage of somebody. Like, if they did this to me, imagine what they could have done to a person of color who doesn't maybe have the resources I do or is not widely publicized like my case.
It's okay, he probably will be able to start his own university after he's done suing everyone that defamed his character. He can safely spend some quality time playing video games now. Now, the Darrell Brooks case is a little different. This guy is a black supremacist who has posted extensively on social media about committing violence against white people. In contrast, Kyle Rittenhouse surrendered his phone to authorities immediately after the confrontation he had with extremists at the riots. And there was nothing in there, not even a Pepe the Frog meme, to incriminate him. Darrell Brooks, on the other hand, thinks he's himself a rapper, a pimp, and a black nationalist. The people of the internet on our side of the resistance were able to salvage some of his internet presence before it started to mysteriously vanish after he committed murder during the Waukesha Christmas parade.
I just got a load worth about a half a ticket. 30 in the blicker when I'm out here chasing chicken. Was observant to the game when I used to play the benches.
In the hours right after the massacre, most news reports would not disclose his identity or ethnicity, even when it was already known. The only person on it at first was Steven Crowder.
Still doesn't have a description of the suspect. They did not, as of 10:30 Eastern, a.m. on Monday. So either they're not doing their job, they're really bad at their job, or they're lying. At what point do they cease to be useful? At what point do we realize that they are not news organizations?
20 years ago?
Yeah, you would think so.
Yeah.
One of the last time Ted Turner rode out in a steer. Here's the police scanner that reported the suspect. This happened. You would think they'd have access to it, considering that we did.
Well, it's a Darrell Brooks. That rings for anything.
Moving A-frame, I ran that subject. Moss found his ID in the car. He is suspended. Looks like he's at at least 199 on the system.
Copy. That's who he's identifying. Soft fat, lighter skin, black male, dreadlocks, red shirt, no shoes.
Now, I guess what CNN would have preferred the description be,
But instead, they kept referring to the incident as a car accident or saying that a red SUV killed a bunch of people. Now, I find this highly car-phobic and SUV racist. Now, who is going to buy all these end-of-year red SUVs on sale? Oh yeah, black supremacists, maybe, allegedly. But let's be positive and look at what Kyle and Darrell are accomplishing together. Not by their own actions, they already acted, and at least one of them was judged according to the law, and he's now free. No, Kyle and Darrell are helping regular people understand that the media is, well, rigged, and somewhat evil. No, really, really evil. Because Kyle's trial was public and televised. Anyone that wants to take a look at it can find the video evidence that rendered him innocent. Anyone that takes the time and has a less than moronic IQ will see that the kid did nothing wrong. In the case of Daryl, there was a lot of coverage up front, and the fact that legacy media is now memory holding the entire incident is going to create a lot of cognitive dissonance, even amongst the most disengaged of people. Because a kid died, and some dancing grandmas died, and certainly an SUV did not kill them by itself. Just the fact that what Daryl Brooks did is not being denounced as a blatant case of domestic terrorism.
Now, again, investigators are questioning a person of interest we believe is the driver of this SUV, but they would not say at this time if they believe this was an act of terrorism.
Should be enough to perk up the ears of most people, or at least I hope so, for our sake. Before I end, I want to share a personal experience I had related to this case. I was, the day before the Kyle Rittenhouse sentence, at a restaurant with some people. We were watching the news on the screens, and we started as a group to discuss the case. One person said, "Oh yeah, that Kyle kid's guilty. He had no business being there." I calmly asked him if he had been watching the coverage of the trial. He said no, he had just got snippets of what happened on CNN. So then I showed him the actual video of Kyle defending himself and trying not to get killed, basically. I took a few minutes to explain what Kyle was doing there, because this man, albeit well-intentioned, repeated a line that he heard on CNN. Kyle had no business being there. That's something they ran with a lot. After I explained to him why Kyle was there, how he had legal right to be there, and showed him the videos from the trial, this man had a slight moment of dissonance, but in no time he was very objective and said, "Well, I did not know it. A lot of that. He's definitely innocent then. Why is this information not available?" So see, sometimes all you have to do to red pill a normie is to show them facts. Because apparently facts are hidden from view these days unless you are really, really looking for them. Lucky for us, we live in reality and we have the duty to show this reality to those that cannot see it. In fact, I have spoken to a few random people about both of these cases, and they had no real facts to rely on. And once they faced the facts, most of them were perfectly fine with what actually happened and with Kyle's innocence. So before you judge a normie or even a lefty for their ignorance, take the time to deliver actual factual information to them. Their head may or may not explode, but take the risk. You would be surprised at how most people react. Yes, they might face a moment of dissonance, but if they have enough working brain cells and you actually take the time to expose them to facts, not political crap, well, their minds will open. Hopefully, allegedly. So the moral of the story is, stay awake, not woke. Stay alert, stay alive. What you hear or see in the mainstream news is likely pure garbage, so use your own powers of deduction to figure out what's going on and look for information outside of the mainstream. As I'm about to post this, I just found out that Daryl Brooks did an interview with Fox from jail, and all he said is that he feels demonized, and his mother blames what he did on mental health problems. As in, now that he is an adult, he can't get meds for his mental issues, and she demands that something is done about it now. Guess what, lady? If you're an adult and you work, you can afford your meds. Either because you get insurance or because you make enough money. That's like one of the best parts of being an adult, like, you know, finding ways to pay for things that you might need, like your meds. Or are you suggesting that daddy government should take taxpayers' money to pay for your broken adult child's care so he does not mow down innocent people during Christmas parades? Is that what you're saying, Daryl Brooks' mom?
Nigga, I'm a menace and that's working Mr. Wilson.
Reach out to me, I would love to hear what you have to say. Well, friends, patriots, trolls, whites, BIPOCs, and everyone else, I hope you enjoyed this video. I consider Kyle being free the Elevant part of this video, so here he is again.
Mr. President, if I could say one thing to you, I would urge you to go back and watch the trial and understand the facts before you make a statement. It's actual malice, defaming my character. It's actually quite hysterical how nobody can go back and look at the facts of the case. He crossed state lines, false. He's a white supremacist, false. None of that is true. And the lies that they can just get away with spreading is just sickening, and it's a disgrace to this country.
Please subscribe, share, and follow me on Rumble and Odysee, as well as Gab, which is basically a Facebook for not communists. Links are below in the notes. Keep living your life, keep speaking the truth, and keep believing in America. God bless Kyle, and let's go Brandon.